make yourself comfortable. Feel your body relaxing and sinking down into the mattress beneath you, feeling as though you're lying on a cloud. Your eyes feel heavy and start to close, and you can feel the in and out of your breath and your belly rising and falling as you breathe deeply all the way down into your belly, and then slowly breathe all the way out. With one more deep breath, breathing all the way in and all the way out, you find yourself standing in the magical land of Elvaria, the place that is so filled with trees and nature and magic. However, right now you're standing at the edge of the Elvaria village. There are lots of old buildings built with stones. The stones placed together like a puzzle to create walls of these buildings. Some of them are a little bit funny looking. Some stand on a bit of an angle, as though they're feeling tired and are starting to lean on the other buildings next to them. Others are quite oddly shaped. They're very thin but very tall. And some are just the usual small little shop buildings with a large window on either side of a door and a sign up above telling you what the shop is for. In front of you stretches a great wide path that is used mostly by the people and creatures you see bustling about you, walking back and forth. But it's as wide as a road, and you wonder if they use cars or horses and carts or some kind of vehicle here in Elvaria. You can't see any sign of that right now, and you think that if there were some kind of vehicle, it would find it quite difficult to make it through the crowds. You can see all sorts of beings here. There are witches with their pointed hats, and wizards too. Adults as well as children. There are fairies flying through the air, and small dragons too, here and there. There are animals walking through the street and talking to the people and other creatures, as though they were human too. Some of them wear clothes. You can see one particular badger wearing a bright red top hat and bright red Wellington gumboots. He's talking to the person who owns the vegetable grocery. And you see the stalls outside that are filled with fruits and vegetables of every kind, some of them that you've never seen before, like purple oranges and bright blue apples. Some of the other animals, though, are wearing no clothes at all. Their fur covers them up nicely, keeps them very warm. You can even see, further up the street, a unicorn walking along, chatting to an elf that walks beside it. What an interesting place this is. you decide to walk along and see what other shops you might see, or what other magical creatures or whatever you might see. And as you do, you feel a tap on one shoulder, and then a tap tap on the other shoulder, and you look around you. On one side there's Samantha, the witch, who goes to the witch school. And on the other side is Alice, a human girl who lives here in Elvaria. And she goes to the witch school too. You see that beside Alice is Tom. Tom is Alice's friend. He's a human too, and he goes to the wizard school here. They are all grinning at you so happily and excited to see you here. "Welcome," says Samantha. "We are so happy to see you here." Alice claps her hands together. "Oh yes, let us show you around." And Tom says, "Come on, I know just the place to show her." They grab you by the hands and you excitedly follow them, wondering where they will take you. As you walk, they point out some of the wonderful sights there are to see here. There's the potion shop where you can buy any herbs or potion ingredients that you may need when concocting magic potions. There's the wand shop where they also sell magic staffs, flying brooms, and any magic tools made out of wood. They also sell regular brooms made for sweeping, only these brooms use magic and sweep themselves without anyone needing to hold on to them. They simply move through the air and clean up any mess and dust the floor as needed. They also sell stirring spoons. Similar to the magic brooms, these spoons simply stir themselves. So if you are making soups or potions or things similar, you can use a magic spoon and rest your arm while the spoon does all the stirring itself. Only it's recommended that you use a different spoon for your potions to your soups, because you don't want to go getting magic potions in the soups you want to drink for dinner. The people who live here tend to engrave their spoons. They carve a word into the side or a picture. It might say stirring spoon for soup, stirring spoon for potion, or whatever they might like to use to mark the differences between their spoons. Also, it's likely they would keep their soup stirring spoon in their kitchen, whereas they would keep their potion stirring spoon wherever they make their potions, perhaps out in a workshop or in the garden, or at the local school or coven, or potion making class or club. Anywhere really, aside from in the kitchen. As you keep walking along, you see other magical shops too, and some that are quite ordinary, such as a clothes shop. Magical people need clothes too, you know. There is a crystal shop full of beautiful sparkling crystals in every colour you can imagine. And there's an indoor plant shop, because people in Elvaria love plants so much they want to have them inside their house as well as outside. There's a bookshop, of course. Every good village needs a bookshop. And finally, you come to the place that Tom is so excited to show you. It's the chocolate shop. And you can see through the big window all the chocolates on display. These are no ordinary chocolates. These are magic chocolates. And as you watch through the window, you feel more like you're looking into an exciting toy shop than a chocolate shop. For you can see chocolates that are shaped like toys, and not only shaped like toys, but they are magical and moving all by themselves. There's a chocolate aeroplane whizzing round up at the top of the window, just in the air by itself, flying around as though it were a real plane. And beside it flap chocolate birds, tiny little robins, and even one large raven that's sitting on a chocolate tree that fills up the entire side of the window, stretching from the floor all the way up to the top. And the raven sits there, flapping its wings every now and then. There's not enough space for it to fly around with this little aeroplane and the small robin. Below this display is a toy train on a track, and the train, it's chocolate of course, is following the track, doing a circular loop going around and around. And beside the train track, barking at the train, is a little chocolate dog, leaping around, watching the train and jumping from side to side, yapping at it. There are other little animals too, moving around and playing in a small chocolate display of a chocolate forest. And as you watch, suddenly something chocolate leaps up towards you and lands on the window right in front of where you're watching, and sticks itself there and stops. It's a chocolate frog, and right now you're looking at its feet sticking onto the window and its belly facing you. It gives a loud croak, and you see its chocolate throat expanding and contracting as a real frog's throat does when they croak. You are very surprised. Tom and Alice and Samantha are all staring at you. They have big grins on their faces. "Well, what do you think?" they say. Well, you tell them what you think. You think it's amazing and marvellous. And then they tell you something really exciting. They have some money to spend, and they would love to buy you a special Elvarian magical chocolate. How does that sound? So you follow them, going through the beautiful big door with a little ting-a-ling as the bell on top announces your entry. You stare around the shop at all the things that are on offer. There's anything you can think of, really. A chocolate butterfly flutters past your face, and down at your legs a chocolate cat, a life-size chocolate cat, is brushing up against your leg, just as a real cat would. There are small chocolate houses, chocolate cars, chocolate horses, chocolate unicorns, chocolate broomsticks and wands, chocolate witches' hats, chocolate mermaid tails, chocolate unicorn horns, chocolate moons and stars, and really anything else you can think of. Take a moment to look around the shop and find something that you would most like to choose today and have as your special chocolate gift from your friends here in Elvaria. When you've chosen, Tom tells you that he's already paid, and he and Samantha and Alice chose a chocolate each as well. Now, you're going to go and sit in the village square and enjoy your chocolates. So you follow your friends out and follow them to the village square, which is a large cobblestone area that has many streets coming off it, going to all the different streets in the village and the different shops and buildings that are here. Right in the center of the square is a large fountain, and the sculpture in the middle are unicorns leaping up out of the water, and the fountain water sprinkles down off their backs. This fountain is very similar to the ones back in the human world, although in the human world the sculpture needs to be fixed to the ground because of gravity, but in Elvaria there's magic, so the unicorn sculpture here simply floats in the air. And as you watch it, you realize it's not just floating there, it's not just a still sculpture, but it's actually moving. The unicorns leap about every few minutes, and then they pause, and then they leap about again. It must be on some kind of timer. And you notice some people in the crowd come over to watch it right before it moves, and then they go back to their shopping. It's a kind of spectacle for the people here to watch. You sit down on a bench right by it, and as you do, behind the bench, a large tree suddenly starts growing up from the earth and spreads its branches above you and Samantha and Tom and Alice to create a beautiful green luscious canopy for you to sit below. Samantha explains that the trees appear when there's someone who wants to sit beneath them, and at other times they disappear beneath the ground and take the bench with them, leaving clear cobblestones for people to walk over. Sometimes there are so many people moving through here, or that gather in crowds for special events, that it helps to have trees and benches that simply hide themselves away. Other times, when it's quiet, even if there's no one who wants to sit beneath their shade, sometimes the trees simply bring themselves out, and this whole village square might be covered with trees only, and the occasional creature walking through. You sit here on this bench and you relax, happy that you are here with your friends in this magical place. You're ready to enjoy your chocolate now, so you take it out and you admire it one last time, and then when you're ready, you eat it and you enjoy it, knowing that you can come back to Elvaria another time and have another chocolate with your friends. Tasty. You enjoy every last bite. And then it's time for you to say goodbye to your friends. You give them each a hug, and they say it's been wonderful to see you again. They can't wait for next time. You relax on the bench. Take one last look at your friends' smiling faces, and you close your eyes, starting to breathe deeply and be transported back out of Elvaria, out of your imagination, back to your home in the human world, ready and relaxed, ready to drift off to sleep, to have sweet, magical dreams. Good night.